When it comes to Christmas, the center of the story is Bethlehem. Visit Bethlehem today and you'll find a large city. These days, the greater Bethlehem area may have as many as 100,000 people in it. But in biblical times, and as recently as a few decades ago, Bethlehem was a far smaller place. Eric Matson's photo collection from the early 1900s can help your audience better visualize what life was like in one of the world's most famous locations. Let's start with this photo. I'd like you to notice that this woman is raising her family in a nice home made from a cave. If you'll notice, neither the woman nor her children seem to think it unusual that they've chosen a cave as their dwelling place. Here's why. Bethlehem lies atop the ridge of the Judean mountains, about 5 miles south of Jerusalem. And when you look at the landscape around Bethlehem, you're going to see a land full of rocks and a land that's nearly void of trees. However, natural caves are abundant in this region, and people use those caves for living quarters, storage areas, or places for their animals to escape the elements. We might call such a place a barn. Now, this is important because underneath the Church of the Nativity is a cave. The Church of the Nativity is the traditional location of Jesus' birth. When we use the word traditional, we're trying to say we're not 100% sure that the location corresponds to the place where an actual historic event is said to have happened. The church itself is incredibly old, surely one of the oldest active churches in the world. It was built early in the 4th century, making it nearly 1,700 years old. And the reason the church was built where it stands is because people of that day revered the small cave as the place where Mary had given birth to Jesus. Indeed, it is highly likely that this is the right location. However, the church is so heavily decorated with the trappings of Orthodox Christianity, it's nearly impossible to visualize the humble cave where Jesus was born. For that reason, we've gone outside the city to film some caves in a more natural environment. You might want to use this footage to better communicate the humble beginnings of the most important birth the world has ever known. Just be sure to let your audience know that the video clips of the caves outside the city are not the actual place where Jesus was born. It's an illustration. Now, we also have lots of photos and some video footage of sheep and shepherds. Somewhere near Bethlehem, shepherds had a front row seat to the greatest angelic concert ever heard by human ears. We will end this coaching session by returning to the Church of the Nativity because I want you to see something. Inside the church, you're going to see some practices that might not be familiar to you. Here's a case in point. Because the church represents the location of a miraculous birth for one woman, many women come from all over the world to pray for a miraculous birth for themselves or perhaps for someone they love. And while you're here, take note of the church next door. It's called the Church of St. Catherine. Underneath that church is a much larger cave that has not been so heavily decorated. Now, the caves underneath both churches are connected, and the larger cave might be helpful in convincing your audience that the traditional location of Jesus' birth was indeed in a cave. Our next coaching video will show you the amazing journey Mary and Joseph made as they traveled from Nazareth up to Bethlehem. It includes some of the most stunning visual elements you could ever use in helping tell the story of Christmas in a fresh way. And remember, you'll find all of the videos I've used in this coaching video in the links we're providing below this video. And you will find hundreds of other videos, photographs, and artistic images you can use in your own teaching ministry at BibleStock.org.